Hey guys, welcome back. Today we're going to be talking about the Pac-Man 40th Anniversary Edition. Now this is one that I did pick up, and I thought it was pretty sweet when I first saw it from the leaks that came out. What was that, about January? I was like not on board. I was like, this wood grain is not very good. I just didn't really want to get it. But then when Ralph and I were at CES and I saw it in person, I was like, this thing looks way better than I originally thought. Now, I have been playing with it for about a day, and there are a couple things that I want to talk about that are not great about the cabinet, but keep in mind, there's a lot of really cool things that are awesome. So I don't think the negative things are necessarily like deal breakers, but they are some things that we should probably talk about, right? So the first thing that we could talk about that's like good, is like
Hey guys!
dude, seriously, what the heck is going on?
Welcome back! Console Kit Channel Takeover! Nope, you can't do anything without me.
You scared me,
I'm
dude.
kidding. I'll just be a silent observer, okay? I'm drinking a beer. I'm useless to you.
Oh my gosh. Anyway, so check this out. We both picked up these cabinets, and we want to point out some of the things that's good about it, some of the things that are not so great about it. Hopefully, Arcade1up is listening, and maybe they can fix some of these things. We were talking about Ralph doing a little bit more about this talking more about this on Sunday. Let us know if you guys want us to talk more about it on One Up Weekly. So the first thing, Ralph, I guess we can open this up. What is the joysticks feel really good?
Yeah,
So
so
that's awesome. The new UI is it's similar to like Marvel superheroes. It's great. The idea, a single shelf, you got the single game in the middle, you got two artworks on the side that are kind of peeking through, and it makes the action sound awesome. The games are fun. Like all these variety of Pac-Mans are awesome. But there's two things. It's really loud. Like
it really is really loud.
It's really loud. Now, you basically, if you want to play quietly, it's not happening. Like you put the thing on
No, there's no
one,
quiet mode.
it's loud. Now, here's the thing. I think it's in the emulation side. I think they have the emulator cranked up really high, because if you turn up the volume, it does get louder and it does get quieter. Like I was even think like as a quick fix, there could be like an inline adapter that we could get. Like if Arcade1up is like, look, it is what it is. It's Pac-Man's a loud game. Like if that's their answer, probably on Amazon you can pick up like a $5-10 like headphone adapter that like the ones for headphones that you can change the volume on it. Not ones that connect to your phone to tell your phone to change the volume, but actually turns it has a potentiometer inside it. You could theoretically put that inside the cab, dial it down to like 50%, and problem solved. It sucks that if you're spending $400 on a cabinet, you're going to have to deal with that. And we haven't seen Arcade1up have these issues in the past recently. So maybe it's because of the pandemic they weren't able to do full QA on it. I don't know. What do you think, Ralph?
I don't know. I mean, it's the good thing about, I mean, not it's a good thing, but I think the sound, like you said, I think there could be a couple of quick fixes to that. And it's mainly due to the new architecture, right? Now that they use a 3.5 millimeter jack, there's some options there.
Yeah.
Where before, it probably would have been almost impossible without sending out a new PCB.
Right. I don't think they should send out a new PCB for that. Like if they can do it in software with a firmware update, it does have a USB. We have been told that switch on the back is to put the PCB into an update mode. So, Arcade1up, if you can do it in software, just send us a firmware update. That'll be cool. The second issue is it looks like they have, some people are calling it, we're going to break it down. It's the actual emulation screen. It's what it looks like when you're playing the game. When you're in the menu, no issues. But when you're in the game, this is the second issue. There's kind of two issues. The text looks a little fuzzy. It's not as crisp.
Yeah, I noticed that on mine too.
Right. And I don't think it's really fuzzy. I think they have like some type of like a filter, right? It's like some type of a smoothing filter to make it not look so pixelated. And maybe we're just used to Arcade1up being very pixelated, and it's not scanline filtering. It's just like a smoothing effect.
Yeah, it's almost like the difference between really sharp pixels and like if you just kind of lightly smoothed over them. So it's not. I don't think you'd look at both and be like, if you saw them both side by side, I don't think you'd say one's better than the other. I think certain people are going to be attracted to one, and certain people are going to be attracted to the other. But it is a difference
It's a difference.
from before. Yeah, for sure.
So the now when you're playing the game, there's yet one more issue that some people have noticed is like the screen itself looks like it's down a few pixels. It's most noticeable on Pac-Mania.
Yeah, because
And
of the background,
yeah, so
color.
that's right. So if you play Galaga, right, that already has a black background. You play Pac-Man, that already has a black background. But when you play, I think Pac-Land is different because it technically does have a black background because it's a horizontal
Yeah.
game, so you already have the black bars. But you play Pac-Mania, it has color in the background. You can kind of see this black strip.
You
It's
see
almost
it on
as
the
if,
top and at the bottom. Yeah.
yeah. And so I don't know, maybe it's something like it's a 4:3 screen that's horizontal, but the emulators are set by 5:4. And so it's just or maybe it's framed that way because it's the correct aspect ratio.
So
Like,
I'll tell you this, Justin. So last night I was losing my mind. I'm like, am I seeing this? Remember, I called you. I'm like, am I actually seeing this? Am I nuts? I couldn't tell. And so I went
yep.
downstairs. I literally grabbed everything in my whole entire home that plays Pac-Man, like everything. I
Right.
had emulators, anything I could find, Pandora's boxes. And I went downstairs, and the one thing that I was like, I'm gonna try that. It's my the little numbskull, the thing that we did a
Yeah.
video on.
Yeah.
That actually has a border on the top and the bottom too. So I'm wondering, is it something having to do with that ROM and the resolution of the screen? I'm not really sure. But it did do it on that too. So, and it did it on a couple of different devices I had. So I was like, okay, I'm not losing my mind. And then I checked with you, and then I stayed up really late. So
Yep.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's
Anyways.
kind of tough, to see that it's having some issues. And it's hard
Okay,
to say because
Brett's validating that you're not crazy and I'm not crazy, but that does not mean necessarily this is only one person, so we could actually still be crazy. I don't know.
that's
But
right.
thank you, Brett. Appreciate
Yeah,
that
I mean,
a lot.
being crazy has a lot, there's a lot of conditions for that. So anyway, here's the cabinet. Again, a positive. The wood grain looks cool to me. The new cabinet shape is awesome. It comes with a light up marquee. It comes with a custom riser. The games are really sweet. This is the only cabinet from Arcade1up that has the only full size arcade cabinet that comes with what is it? Pac-Man and Galaga. Now I actually do have the Wallcade, and that's the thing.
Justin, by the way, is the only person on planet Earth that actually bought a Wallcade, but he's got one.
That's right. So I have a Wallcade, which does have Pac-Man, Galaga, and Galaxian on it, and so I was doing some comparisons to it. Now the Wallcade does. It's kind of like their second gen. It's got a 5:4 screen. I don't believe it's the BOE, but it does play Pac-Man very well. It's very crisp. The texts are pixelated. It doesn't really have that smoothing effect.
Yeah.
And there's none of the games that are on it. If there is a black border, it doesn't show it because all three games have solid black. Again, people are pointing it out. It's good to know that it's not just Ralph and I that have OCD when it comes to these things.
Well, because I really did think last night that I was just seeing things, and then for a little while you said you couldn't see it, so I was like, "Oh no! Like, am I that OCD that I'm actually making something up?"
Originally, what we were talking about was just the top of the one in the 1-up.
Yeah, that's true. We
was
changed
like it looked like it was clipped, and it was kind of hard to tell. And I was just focusing on that alone. But if you go to Pac-Mania, it's pretty clear. Again, it doesn't. I don't know. Like, here's
Justin,
the
I do want to talk about this because I can do it in literally less than 60 seconds because I know you're trying to keep it short. So, do I notice a big difference in the sticks from the older sticks? Absolutely. So, really the stick that they're mimicking is the Sanwa. It's the Sanwa JLF stick. So this is the stick they're mimicking, and they were always kind of clones of Sanwas, but this time they did a really high quality clone. I mean, it's pretty good. So when I felt it and played it, I was like, actually, you know what? And I opened it up, looked at it, inspected it a bit. Like, this isn't something I would just immediately change, but one of those things that's cool is like companies like DIY Retro Arcade literally have drop-in kits. So if you needed to, you could easily. But I actually find it's pretty acceptable for the system, and it seems like a bigger a much needed upgrade. Because I was worried about that. Like, what if they shipped it with a bad controller? That would not be good, or a bad joystick rather.
So I think that's all we have time, and I just want to point out that Zohar subscribes to me clearly with his personal account, and he only subscribes to you with his Zohar account, and we'll see you on the next one.